Good evening, parents, carers, and Year 6 students, and a huge welcome to today's BA's Open Evening. My name is Miss Shallow, and I'm one of the senior assistant principals here at BA. So now the order of events for this evening is going to be as follows. In a moment, you will be hearing from Mr. Sparks, our principal, who's going to be talking to you about some amazing transformations that have been taking place here at BA, and he's going to talk you through our curriculum as well. And then you're going to be hearing from Miss Collier, our assistant principal, who leads our SEN department, and she'll be talking you through our SEN transition process. And after Miss Collier, you then get to speak to or get to hear from a number of our student council members, our head students in Year 13. And then you're going to have the opportunity for me to come back and talk to you about what our next steps are going to be. After that, you will then have a moment to ask us any questions that you might have using our Slido code. I'll talk to you about that in a moment. And then we'll bring back Mr. Sparks, who is going to have some closing messages. Okay, so now on the screen, what you should be able to see is our Slido. So what you would need to do, Year 6, get your parents to help you to do this. So if you scan the QR code, it's #1291563, or what you can do is just take your phone and put your phone over, obviously on camera, and put your phone over the code, and you should be able to scan that. Can I ask you that when you get to join Year 6, can you write your name and your primary school so we know exactly who you are? So when we get your questions, we can actually refer to you. So for example, John from Bellington Primary School, we can actually get to say your name as well. Okay, so in a moment, Year 6, I'm going to be handing you over to Mr. Sparks. So I'll give you a moment to scan the code. And feel free to say, good evening, Miss Shallow, or hi, Miss Shallow, hi, Mr. Sparks, because you know Mr. Sparks is going to be here as well, or hi, student leaders. Okay, I'll now pass you over to Mr. Sparks, who is going to go through some welcome messages. Over to you, Mr. Sparks.
Brilliant. Thank you, Miss Shallow, and a very warm welcome to our Year 6 students and parents and carers. And it's good to see hundreds of people logging on at home for this very special event this afternoon. And in a few moments' time, we're going to talk you through some of the transformations that the Academy has seen over the last few years. And it was great to see just a moment, a welcome and a hello from one of our Year 6 students, Maddie. So a big welcome to Maddie, who's no doubt watching at home right now. And then after that, I'm going to talk to you about the teaching and learning and the curriculum within school, and what, in my opinion, makes that such a special place and such a special curriculum, which is at the heart of any school. And this school, Bexleyheath Academy, as many of you will know, I've been here for a number of years now, and I started off here as vice principal 3 years ago, and it's an absolute delight and pleasure to lead the school now as we move into the next phase of our development and welcome lots of students to this academy. And what I'm going to start talking to you about now is exactly that transformation. And it was last year that Ofsted came back into the school and recognised Bexleyheath Academy as a firmly good school in every area, and that's something we are tremendously proud about. And one of the comments that really sticks out to me is that the inspector said that the academy and the school has transformed over the last 3 years, the learning environment at the academy. And one of the things I'm going to mention at this point, because it's really important, is that Bexleyheath Academy doesn't do things in traditional ways all the time. And what we do is we invite parents and carers in for personalised tours around the academy. And I know Miss Shallow will mention that later on, so that you can see the academy live in action. So we don't have a traditional open event in a main hall where you get to see the school of an evening. We invite our parents and carers in during the school day to see what really goes on behind the scenes, get them to see lessons in action, get them to meet teachers and get them to meet students and ask them those questions. And our doors open on Monday, and we open a week's worth of tours at a time. And don't worry if you've not had a chance to book a tour yet, because on Sunday next week, we'll open up the following week's worth of tours. And I was overwhelmed already, and this slide will summarise that in a moment, by the number of parents and carers that have booked on a tour. In 30 minutes of opening the tours last week, we had over 100 tours booked, and we'll have 100 more next week ready to go this Sunday. So if you haven't booked a tour yet, my biggest piece of advice tonight is book a tour and come and see us in action, because you'll then get a real sense of what this academy is like. Over the last year, that change that the school's seen has seen our school grow significantly in size. And this year we welcomed 305 Year 7 students to the Academy last week, which was an absolute pleasure and delight. And what wonderful Year 7s we've captured this year. And that represented for the school a 120% increase in first choice preferences. And the school can hold 330 in each year group. And I suspect within the next few weeks, we will have 330 in Year 7. And I look forward, and I'll talk to you about how many days it is in a moment, to next year when we will welcome yet another 330 students. We're also seeing lots of students join us from neighbouring schools around the area, because I think the word is getting out now that Bexleyheath is the school of choice in the borough. And we had 184 students join us in other year groups last year as what we call in-year admissions. So the word is getting out there now and the reputation is out there. And if you've got any questions, I genuinely mean this, please do drop me an email, get in touch, and I'll happily answer those. And if you've booked onto one of our tours next week, I will see you in the Academy and we'll get to answer those questions there. But yeah, 120% increase in first choice preferences and 184 in-year admissions is something we are really, really proud about. So I wanted to start with those numbers, and I've got more numbers coming your way soon. So what is our big vision here? What is it we're striving to do? And the vision for Bexleyheath Academy is that every child can choose a remarkable life. And what we mean by that is a Year 7 student will join us next year and graduate from Bexleyheath Academy in 2029 or 2031, depending upon if they leave us in Year 11 or they leave us in Year 13. And what's really important to the team at the school is not only do they get a remarkable teaching experience and a remarkable learning experience, but also that we instill with them all those other really important values of coming to a secondary school, where they learn the differences between right and wrong, how to interact, how to communicate, how to present with their peers. And I've summarised those in four things that I think we do very, very well at the Academy. One is that we've got remarkable teachers, and I'll talk more about that later. Secondly, that children in this school will have a remarkable experience. We work in very different ways, very creative ways in this school. We embrace technology, and I'll talk about that more in a moment. And students here will have a great experience. We have great behaviour. I walk around this school every single day and I'm reminded of just how high the standards are, but how students in this school rise to those challenges. And we set the bar very, very high, but our students impress us on a daily basis when they reach that bar, and they show us what exemplary behaviour looks like. But most importantly, and you'll hear from Miss Collier later, who's going to talk about our special educational needs, actually one of the most important things we do in this school is make sure that our students are safe and that they're well and that they're looked after and that they're happy. And we put a huge amount of work into making sure that the pastoral care and our safeguarding provision is first class, so that actually every student joining us not only gets a great experience, but they feel safe at school, they feel welcomed at school, and most of all, they feel happy and they enjoy their experience. So that's our vision, and that's what we set out to do. And I'm going to talk to you now about our 4 values. And we've got 4 values that underpin everything that we do here. It underpins our curriculum, our extracurricular clubs and activities. And these you will see around the school, and our Year 7s can act these out now. They know them very well. And our 4 values are being unusually brave, discovering what's possible, pushing the limits, and my favourite, being big-hearted. And what we mean by each of those things is when we talk about being unusually brave, is we try and push our students to not be afraid to challenge things that are wrong, and not be afraid to push themselves outside of their comfort zone and to make the right decision, even if that right decision isn't always the easy one. And we encourage our students to do that. Secondly, we encourage our students to discover what's possible. And we're looking to create those special moments in schools, those light bulb moments where students discover things for the first time and work out problems to solutions that they've always wondered. And that's really, really important to us, creating those eureka moments, we call them. Thirdly, we get our students to push the limits, and that's whether that's educational, academic limits, whether that's extracurricular, or whether that's pushing themselves outside their comfort zone. It's really important that our students stretch themselves and go beyond what is comfortable sometimes, because that will really help them to push themselves. And then fourthly, my favourite, about being big-hearted. One of the things about coming to secondary school is we make sure that our students treat each other with respect, with kindness, with fairness. And what you see in this school, and what you'll see when you tour this school, is a really close-knit community, and one that looks after one another and really, really cares for one another. So those 4 values underpin absolutely everything they do. They underpin our lessons, our extracurricular programme, and the way we conduct ourselves around the school. And they're really important cornerstones of what we do. So moving on nicely then, and we're going to talk much more later on about our curriculum, but I want to share with you what a day looks like, or what a week looks like for a student in this school. And then I'm going to share with you my favourite, which is some numbers from this year that I think summarise some of our highlights. So our school day looks like this, and students in Year 7 typically have 4 lessons a day, starting at 8:45, and we have 4 80-minute lessons. And we study a really broad and balanced curriculum. Students will have 3 lessons of mathematics a week with a specialist maths teacher, 3 lessons of English a week. In this school, we do something slightly slightly different for secondary schools. We separate our sciences from day one. So rather than students having 3 lessons of what's just called science, they will have a biology lesson with a biology specialist, a chemistry lesson with a chemistry specialist, a physics lesson with a physics specialist. And that's really important because as students move through the school, by the time they get to GCSEs in year 10, that's the courses they will be studying, the separate sciences and understanding the wonder of each of those sciences. They study a really good foundational EBAC program with geography and history that we keep separate. The arts are really important to me. As an ex-music teacher, we have a separate lesson of art, a separate lesson of music, and a separate lesson of drama every week. And those creative subjects are really, really important because for many students, those creative subjects are the places they escape and they create those eureka moments I mentioned a moment ago. And then we have 2 unique programs, things that you won't necessarily see in other schools. We have a program called Innovation and Technology, and that combines the very best bits of ICT and computing with the very best bits of design and technology, and exposes students to all the wonders of the programs that are available to them later on, whether it's graphic design, whether it's engineering, whether it's textiles. Our students get to explore those really early on. So by the time they get to year 10, they can make a really informed decision about, do I really love engineering and do I want to keep that subject going? So that's innovation and technology, best bits of DT, best bits of ICT and computing. We also have a personal development curriculum, which again is unique to this school. And personal development in this school is similar to what students will do in primary school, which is often called PSHE, so that physical, social and health education. And that's where we teach the students all the other important characteristics that are important about becoming a young adult. So those skills of becoming resilient, those skills of learning easily, reflecting wisely. And we teach them all that through our personal development program, which is really, really important. So that's what it looks like on a typical week-by-week basis. Those are the subjects that our students will study. And I want to take a moment for you just to share some key highlights of how successful that curriculum has been and what that looks like in terms of achievement and outcomes for our students. And I've put a series of numbers on the slide for you in letters, and I just want to take a moment to share each of these before I unpick those a bit further. And last year, and these grades aren't out yet, but this is really exciting for us, the Academy secured a 70% success rate of 4+ in both English and mathematics. And you'll see many schools publish their 4+ figures in English and mathematics. And 70% is an incredibly high achievement. And we were so proud of our year 11 students that left us last year, that 70% of them had got a strong pass in both their English and mathematics, which is absolutely great. And I'll let parents and carers go and compare those figures, both locally and nationally. We perform very, very well. In terms of our overall trust that we're part of, we come in the top 3, so we're proud of that. The average grade, A level, was a B grade, which is absolutely astonishing. And in some of our subjects like maths, mathematics and physics, 85% of our students walked away with A star and A grades, which we were absolutely thrilled with. And they really deserve those grades. They worked really, really hard. You see a 0 there, an odd number to put on a slide like this, but 0 is a number that we are incredibly proud about at this school, that we do not hire supply teachers in this school. So in this school, should a teacher be absent, the senior team will cover those lessons to make sure that educational experience is a consistent one and that students keep getting a good education every lesson, every day. And I'll talk more about that in a moment. 0.29 is a progress score. And in this school, a progress score of 0.29 or nearly 0.3 is an incredible achievement from last year that we're really proud about. And what that means is, on average, students do a third of a grade better in every single subject by the time they leave us from when they started at the start of year 7. So to put that in real terms, across their 9 GCSEs, they will walk away with 3 grades more improvement in this school than they will nationally. The national figure is around 0. So students do on average 3 grades better in this school than they would do in other schools nationally. So again, an academic figure we're really proud about. 162 is the number of clubs, extracurricular clubs and activities and enrichment activities and opportunities that students have access to across the year. And that's not all in one term, and you'll see what I mean by that in a moment. But yeah, students have a wide range of different clubs and societies that they can join in this school. And most of our students take part in at least one extracurricular club or activity a week. And the big important one, for those of you watching at home tonight, for our year 6s out there watching right now, it's 348 days before you join us as a year 7 student. And that's an incredible number that will fly by very, very quickly. So it's not that far away before you may be learning in this academy with fellow students and looking at a remarkable curriculum. So those are some numbers I wanted to share with you, and I'll come back to some further statistics later on. So I want to talk to you about those clubs now, 162, and I just want to share with you some of the different clubs and activities that are taking place this term. And as I say, there are more coming next terms. And there is literally, I'll let you take a moment to scan that list, there is literally something for everyone, from chess club to art club, from a girls' football team to a boys' football team, from a mindfulness club. And there is even more than that's on this slide. I just couldn't fit them all on. But there are clubs out there for everyone. And one of the things that I really love about this academy is that our students really embrace those extracurricular clubs and activities and absolutely take part in them as if it's just part of their school day. And not only is it a great way to widen those experiences, but it's a great way to meet new friends and meet new people across the school. So yeah, a club literally for every single student out there is something we are immensely proud about. So I mentioned earlier, I want to spend a moment just to talk about our curriculum and the teaching and learning. I'll put remarkable learning there. And I'm going to share with you kind of 3 cornerstones of what I think makes our curriculum and our teaching and learning really powerful. And it's 3 promises that I make to parents and carers whose children join this school. And the first thing is that you'll be taught by remarkable people every single lesson, every single day. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. That students in this school will have a remarkable learning experience. They will explore and experience something new in every single lesson, every single day. And then I've put remarkable assessment as the third. Parents and carers in this school get told more than any other parent and carer, I would argue probably in the country, about how well their child is progressing in their subjects. And you will receive regular feedback from the school every single lesson, every single day. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. So let's delve into each of these in a bit more depth. So in terms of number 1, remarkable teaching, I make the commitment that we don't have supply teachers in this school and that we hire the very best teachers to teach the students in this academy. And we make that promise because I interview personally every single teacher that joins us. And the team that we've got here at this school are some of genuinely the most talented teachers I've ever worked in. When I sit at the back of some of our mathematics lessons, our science lessons, I wish I was half as good as some of the teachers that teach the students in this school. And students get a great experience from remarkable people every single day. I want to delve into the second one of those now a little bit further and talk to you about what remarkable learning is. And our curriculum at this school is very different to many schools. And when parents and carers tour this school in a few days and few weeks' time, you will get to see that every single lesson in this school centres on an exploration question. We don't have learning objectives and learning aims. We have a question that we want to answer. And I've put 5 on the screen for you, from different lessons that I've kind of seen going on across this term. So how do I create and perform a top 10 hit? It's something that our year 9 students are doing in music right now, trying to work out how they can play and perform together as a band. Why did Guy Fawkes try to blow up the Houses of Parliament? A question that our historians are studying right now. In English in year 7, they're looking at myths, legends and fairy tales. So how do myths, legends and fairy tales inspire Disney? And tying all of the great literature that's out there to look at how does that inform something like Disney? And if I scream in space, will anyone hear me? A great question that I saw in a physics lesson in a year 7 lesson, where they were trying to explore how sound works through space, which was just absolutely incredible. And then in innovation and technology, what makes a great blockbuster film, where they're looking at different ways that you can create different media-based products. So I make that second commitment to you, that our students will explore and experience something new every single day. And then thirdly, and it's linked to this one, I'm going to have 4 now. The way we work is very different in this school. We fully embrace technology. Every student that joins this school is given a Chromebook device and they will use that in every single one of their lessons. And as a result of that, our students become very digitally literate, but also as a result of that, they start to embrace technology and the ways of working in the modern world. We fully embrace that use of technology. Now, that's not to say our students won't have exercise books and won't write, because that's clearly an important skill as well, but we fully use the technology to make sure that our students make remarkable progress in this school. And we also fully utilize the technology to give our students more opportunities. So on their Chromebook devices, they will all have access to an app called Mile, which gives them access to a digital library of 7,000 different books that's out there. All of our homework is set electronically once a week, and parents and carers are informed on a weekly basis of how well their child's done in each of their homework tasks. That takes place on platforms like Seneca that you can see on screen there. So part of that remarkable learning experience, my second point, is all around we embrace the use of technology to enhance that progress and that feedback even further to the students that we give. So that's number 2. Now, my third and final point is all about assessment. How we let you know your child is doing in school and how your child knows how well they're doing in school. And not only does parents and carers in this school receive an individual progress report every single half term, so that means 6 progress reports every single half term, you also receive, and this is really important, something that's very unique to this school, what we call a daily engagement report. And parents and carers in this school by 4:30 every single day will get a score for each one of their child's lessons that will tell them how well their child did or how well they engaged in their learning in that subject for that day. And those have become a truly powerful way for parents and carers to know exactly what the school days look like and engage their child in a conversation over dinner. Say, well, I can see this subject went really well today. You've got a 4, remarkable learning, or this one didn't go so well. You've got developing. What happened there? And they can have those conversations straight away. So we get termly progress report, daily engagement report, and this year we've also introduced a weekly homework report. We summarise all of the homework activities that have taken place across the week, and we send parents and carers a report that shows them just how well their child has done on those homework tasks, so you can keep a really clear picture of how your child is progressing. And that is something that, again, that I think makes us truly unique at this school, because we want to make sure our parents and carers are informed. And what comes with all of those reports is an opportunity to speak to a member of the team. We don't just send you a list of numbers and say, this is how your child is doing. What's really important to us is actually, if you're worried about how your child is progressing in English, in mathematics, in music, in drama, there's a request to call a member of the team button that you can click, and a member of the team will phone you in 24 hours to unpick what's happened there and provide you with that support. So really, really important mechanism to make sure our parents and carers are kept up to date. Finally, I feel like for poor Miss Shallow, I've spoken too much this evening. I'm just going to summarise all of that. So I make those 3 commitments to you. One, that we'll have remarkable teaching. You'll be taught by remarkable people in every single lesson, every single day. Our students will have remarkable learning. They'll explore and experience something new in every single lesson, every single day. And we have remarkable assessment here. Parents and carers will receive regular feedback, ongoing feedback about every lesson, every single day. And I saw Miss Lufa, who's pushed our slide next to the next one, and we can see some welcomes from some of our students. So that's it from me this afternoon. It's been a pleasure talking to everyone. And let's see which students have said hello this afternoon, so we can see how our Slido poll's going. And the other thing, just to add from what Miss Shallow said earlier, is if you've got any questions at all, please do pop those questions onto that Slido poll. And we're going to take an opportunity at the end of this presentation to come back to you and answer all those questions live. Miss Shallow, I believe I'm handing back over to you next.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sparks, behind stage. Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Right, so I'm going to pass you over to Miss Collier, who I said earlier on, she's now going to talk to you about our SEND provision here at BA, but most importantly, parents, Miss Collier is going to be talking to you about what provisions we have or that we put in place to prepare our SEND students to come into BA come September and access everything that we have to offer with ease and with as little anxiety as possible. Over to you, Miss Collier.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Miss Shallow. So as Miss Shallow has said, I am here to talk to you about our SEND provision and the transition process as well, to ease any anxieties or concerns you may have. So Miss Blewett is our SENCO, and she sends her apologies that she cannot be here tonight. But as you can see at the top of the screen is her email address, and I believe that will be repeated later. And she's already said that quite a few people are getting in contact with her to ask questions. So please don't be afraid to use the email address to ask any further questions you have. So as you can see on the screen, we have 4 levels of support for our students. The top box on the left-hand side is basically what all students will have. So we promise that all of our students will have high quality teaching and learning. They will all have access to assessment for learning. They will have personalised targets set. And as Mr. Sparks has already said, access to after-school clubs and educational visits. And then we go into the 3 different tiers. So I'm not going to read them each of them, but as you can see on the board, the screen, we offer targeted intervention and support matched to each individual student's need. We can make reasonable adjustments to the environment and make equipment for students with any disabilities as well. Teachers are trained every year to differentiate the learning in each of the classrooms. Then we also go on to a few students who may have more complex needs and will be able to access transition support, referrals to external agencies, and I'm going to speak about them in a second. Evidence of differentiation, specialist programs, and this will continue into their GCSEs as well. So they will have access arrangements for their GCSEs when they're taking their exams. The final level of support is for those who have who meet the needs of an EHCP. So they will have an enhanced transition support package. They will get specialised, differentiated kind of alternative provision from the SENCO herself to make sure that the transition is smooth into the school and that we can kind of erase or kind of put aside any of the anxieties and concerns you may have and they may have. They have access to evidence-based and specialist programs and different and specific after-school clubs to match their needs and their requirements. So just to summarise, every student who attends our school will have access to a different level of support depending on their need. We also have access to the Bexley Early Intervention Team. Now, we refer to that as EATS. Now, EATS are basically, it's a service that supports the schools, all schools in the Bexley Borough. And the idea is that the SENCO can make referrals to the EATS early intervention. So the idea is that we can try and get in there and nip any problems in quite early, and we put support in place early to stop or prevent any kind of more serious problems kind of becoming evident or increasing as their school years go on. We also get advice and support from our partners. We also have a social, emotional, mental health partner who comes in and supports our students regularly. They also give us access to an educational psychologist and different social workers as well, depending again on the need. So now I just want to run through, and you can see it's quite a lengthy process for the transition support that we provide our students. So in around April time, Mrs. Blewett will start to make contact with primary schools regarding any students who we think are or know are coming to us. And then in May, she receives the transition information from primary school, so that the information is transferred over, so we get that well in advance, which will then allow Mrs. Blewett to go into the primary schools and meet with the SENCOs, the classroom teachers, to discuss individual needs. So we can be really, really particular and make sure that we are covering all of the needs and all of the concerns for our students, which then helps Mrs. Blewett create an individual register for each of the students, which is shared with staff in August. As you can see, that's the bottom point. So every teacher has access to all of the needs and concerns that our students have, so we can cater for everyone's needs in our classrooms. In June, so Mrs. Blewett will arrange for students to have additional tours, so not just part of the main tours that Mr. Sparks has said we're starting next week. In June time, students can come in much smaller groups, one-to-one with the SENCO, and they can have an additional tour to get them used to the site, to ask any further questions you've got. Mrs. Blewett will also then hold virtual meetings with families. And then in July, all students are invited to our Year 7 transition days, and they'll have access to Mrs. Blewett across those days as well. And then across the summer holidays and into early September, all of our information is shared with all of our teachers across the school to make sure that they know how to differentiate and provide for every student who they're going to meet the following week. So it's quite a lengthy process, but a lot of work and time goes into making sure that your young people will come here and have a really smooth and safe transition, so that we can kind of allay any fears that they may have. That's it from me. As I've said already, if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in contact with Mrs. Blewett via her email. And I believe I'm going to hand back to Miss Shallow. Thank you, Miss Shallow.
Thank you, Miss Collier. Welcome back, Year 6 and parents. Okay, so we've had so many questions coming through. I can see that our moderator has been going back and answering some of your questions, but please do feel free, if your question has not been moderated by one of our staff, please do send your question again, and then eventually when we come to the end during the question and answer session, I will answer your questions at that stage. And obviously Mr. Spark is here as well to answer some of those questions, and our student leaders will also be here to answer some of your questions. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next part of our event, which is you get to meet our student leaders. But before you get to meet them, you'll be talking to our Year 6. Our Year 7s. They were in Year 6 last year, our Year 7s. Can I just go back and say thank you, Mr. Sparks, for talking our Year 6 and parents through our remarkable curriculum. And thank you so much, Miss Collier, for talking them through our SEND provisions. And I know that a lot of parents are going to be feeling a lot more at ease, Miss Collier, knowing that they're going to get this support from the very moment that they get that letter from us saying that welcome to BA, and well done for choosing BA as your first school of choice. Now, I'm going to be passing you over to our Year 7s. Now, if you think about our current Year 7s, this time last year, Year 6, they were in the same predicament. So exactly whatever feelings you're having right now, they've just lived through that. However, the difference is they've had the opportunity to experience the BA remarkable way of life. So they're the best people to share with you what that looks like. So they've gone through our transition process, and they now know what it takes to be a BA student. I'll now pass you over to Roxy, who's the very first person that's going to be here sharing her experience from being a Year 6 student to now being a Year 7 BA student. All right, Roxy, over to you.
Good evening, Year 6. My name is Roxy. This time last year, I was in the same position you are in. Finalising my choices for secondary school, I was filled with happiness as I was about to embark onto a new journey. I looked at a few schools and BA stood out. As I toured the school, I noticed that the lessons were very engaging, there were no disruptions, and the teachers seemed very passionate. I can now truly confirm that this is the case. All my lessons are extremely enjoyable. There are no disruptions in my class. My favourite subject so far is music, as I am currently learning a new instrument, and my teacher is super supportive, especially when you are not sure of what to do. I will recommend you to choose BA for its remarkable teaching and its amazing canteen food. I will now pass you on to Paige.
Good evening, parents and Year 6 students. My name is Paige, and this time last year I was in Bexleyheath Primary School. This week is my third week of secondary school, and so far I'm loving it. I have made lots of friends already, which most of them I didn't know from primary school. There are many reasons why I recommend BA as your first choice in secondary school. Some of they are: there are many subjects to study in Bexleyheath Academy. I'm currently studying English, Maths, Chemistry, Biology, Physics, Music, Art, Drama, PE, History and PD. You get to have your own Chromebook and take home each day. We use Chromebooks in our lesson to support our learning and help us be more independent when working. I'll now pass you over to Isabel.
Good evening, my name is Isabel and I'm really proud to be a student at Bexleyheath Academy. This was my first choice of secondary school, as before coming here I heard really good things about the school and the local community, and now I'm excited to be able to call myself a Bexleyheath Academy student. My favourite subjects are drama, English, PE and science. They were extremely enjoyable. Science is different from primary school because you get to use more exciting things like chemicals and microscopes. In PE, you do a variety of fun sports like my favourites, rugby, netball and tennis. In Year 7 English, I've been learning how to write a Gothic story and it's been really fun. Lastly, drama. In drama, we learn how to express ourselves through performing fun plays. We always play drama games, which helps our acting skills at the start of the lesson. I'll now pass you to Barira.
Good evening, my name is Barira. I'm currently in Year 7. When I was in your position, my family and I chose BA because I saw that BA was one of the top schools in Bexleyheath. When I saw Bexleyheath Academy in real life, I realized that it was amazing. The lineups, the dignity are all perfect. We are allowed to feel comfortable. I felt safe from the first day. On my first day of school, I saw that the teachers were really kind and the canteen was clean. It felt like a restaurant. The staff at the academy really care about your safety, and the BA staff have zero tolerance for bullying. We have a school counsellor who students can see and talk to. We have a pastoral manager who's always around in the morning, before school, break time, and at lunchtime. There are loads of facilities here at the academy, such as the resource centre and the library. We go to the library in our English lessons, but we are also able to go there at lunch times. And that's good because we can learn new things from reading books. We are also able to go to the library to do our homework. We also have an online system called Bedrock, which we can access on our Chromebooks. This means we have lots of different types of reading at our fingertips. I will now pass you over to David.
There are several buildings in the academy and different classes are in each building. The C block is the main building and has subjects such as English and Maths. The building is planned out in a rectangle so it's easy to find your classes. We also have a different block for the music department, PE, drama and technology. The classrooms are clearly labelled so we know which block our lessons are in. To help us, we've been given maps to show us where to go, and we can always ask pupils from other year groups as well as our teachers who are always on hand to help us find our way. Although we have only been here for 3 weeks, I now feel very confident walking from lesson to lesson. I will now pass you to Christopher.
It is fantastic to be in our academy. We have remarkable reward systems where we can get rewards points to be put different prizes. We can get these points in our lessons for our punctuality and attendance. You will also get bonus points for filling out remarkable character cards. Each week will be given a card to complete based on our remarkable characteristics. Each time you will complete a, a card. Our teachers to sign them and these go towards remarkable points too. This week we are looking remarkable integrity and some of the challenges we are to remind three three friends it's not good to gossip. To be positive and enthusiastic in the lesson and competition. A teacher about something they have done and have already completed 7 out of 12 challenges for this week. I'll pass you on to Ms. Sharon.
Thank you so much, Year 7. Right. Year 7, I actually feel you guys have done a phenomenal job. I know that it's always a very nerve-wracking experiences, be in front of a camera and actually say what it is your experiences are. So well done. You've actually had a really, really good try. Right. So now I'm going to be passing you over to our student or our school student leaders. So we have Raymond, who is our Year 8 student leader, Owen, our head student leader, and Sophie, our deputy head student leader. Both are currently in Year 13. Now, our student leaders are the pillars of our BA community. So the reason why I say that is every time we have an event, whether it be live events like today's event or just doing different projects around the community, these are the young people that are always there to represent the school, as well as representing various different members or different year groups in the school. So for example, Raymond is a true advocate for the Year 8 students. So if the Year 8 wanted for us to change something, it can even be something to do with our curriculum. Raymond is the person and his team that will go to, and Raymond will feed that back to the senior leader team. So I'll now pass you over to Raymond, who's going to talk to you about his experience. And just to remind you all, parents in Year 6, Raymond not long ago was going through the same thing that you're all going through. So our BA transition program. So not long ago, he was just in Year 6 as well. So over to you, Raymond.
Good evening, Year 6s. Here at Bexleyheath Academy, there have been many great opportunities and it has been an amazing experience itself. My name is Raymond and I'm currently in Year 8. My experience has been so far amazing here. From an amazing community to an amazing school itself. Here at BA, we have things for everyone to enjoy. There are after school and lunch clubs, which are great fun, and lessons are enjoyable too. Being a Year 8, I have been in your position worrying, being anxious, but coming here at BA has made me realize how many things I could do. Because of how welcoming everyone was and still is, no matter how difficult questions might be in class, a teacher will always be there to help you without judgment. Students will also be there ready to help you with anything they can. Remember, you're never going to be alone. There are always other students who will be able to help you and be by your side to push and help you with everything they can. So I hope you have a great time here at BA. I will now pass you over to Owen, our head student.
Hello and welcome to the Bexleyheath Academy Open Evening. My name is Owen White and I'm one of the head students here at BA. I'm currently in Year 13 and I've studied at the Academy since Year 7. This means I've seen all the positive changes that have taken over across the years, and I can honestly say that right now, this academy is amazing. Here at BA, there is an amazing staff team composed of teachers and TAs who always have their students' best interests at heart. No matter the department you visit, there is always a higher standard of teaching. The teachers really do care about their students and are willing to take time out of their day to help and support with any issues they may have. As well as that, within our school, we have an amazing PE department who offer a range of different clubs that run most days after school. These clubs range from football to cricket, and I guarantee that your son or daughter will find a club that's perfect for them. Coming into secondary school is a big step up, and it can be seen as quite daunting at first. But having been in that position before within this academy, I can assure you that settling in will not be an issue at all. We have a very caring community here, and there will always be someone to help you, whether that's finding your way to your next lesson or even something as simple as where's the nearest toilet. No matter the issue, there's always someone to resolve it. I'm going to finish off by saying thank you for listening, and I hope that you'll seriously consider coming to this academy in September. I'll now pass over to Deputy Head Sophie.
Hello everyone, I'm Sophie. I'm here to talk to you about BA and its amazing achievements, as well as the continuing academic success. My role as Deputy Head Student is to act as a student leader and a voice between the students and teachers. Working along with the rest of the student leadership team, we develop new creative ideas and improvements for the school to ensure that students here have the best educational experience here at BA. The teachers are incredibly supporting and always push you to your full potential. As a result of the COVID pandemic, my GCSE exams were heavily interrupted. Even though I missed out a lot of time for in-person learning, the teachers and staff were determined not to let the pandemic stop us from achieving our very best. Through the determination and support that was given to us from the teachers, I was able to achieve amazing grades, which has helped me to where I am now. In addition to this, we as a school have used the advancement in technology to benefit our education through the use of Chromebooks, which we use in most of our lessons. One thing I always remember and look back on is the opportunities that are offered to us in multiple areas of the school. For example, I was heavily involved in the sports teams, such as netball, handball and dance. Within this, I had the opportunity to compete in multiple events against not only other schools, but London boroughs too. I loved my time from year 7 to year 11. They only felt right that I continued my school journey here at BA in sixth form. It is certain that you will enjoy your time at BA here too and will receive a successful education. I'll now pass you over to Miss Shallow.
Thank you very much, Sophie. Right, student leaders, please do not go anywhere because your session is not over yet, because we're going to be having those questions and answers in a moment. Right, so what does our transition program looks like? Right, before I go and talk to you about transition, just some key dates for you to sort of get yourself ready. Earlier on, Mr. Sparks spoke about our tours. So they're going to be starting from this coming Monday, the 26th of September, right up until the 21st of October. Now you get an opportunity to go around the school. We've called it our 30 minutes Golden Mile tour route. So you've got 30 minutes to go through aspects of the school. So please go onto our school's website and book yourself a tour. And on Thursday, the 6th of October, year 6, you get the opportunity to virtually experience some wacky science workshop activities. And then on Thursday, the 13th of October, you get to experience our amazing artists who will be doing some virtual live lessons with you as well. So you literally sat in the comfort of your own home with some coloring pens, pencils to create an amazing piece of art. And then our last event would be on Thursday, the 20th of October, where you get to do a workshop, well, we call it our WOW workout, actually, our WOW workout with our PE teachers. Now, that's all about open events. Now, after you've received your letter from Bexley Council sometime next year around, say, April, saying that you've gotten your first choice because you've chosen B as your first choice, we're going to write to you and welcome you as members of our Year 6 transition program. And at that point, we'll tell you some live events that we're going to have going on. So for example, this year we had our master classes that literally range from science all the way through to lessons in humanities. We have our welcome assemblies where you get to meet one of us and we talk you through what's happened at BA for that week. And then you'd have our transition taster days. So there's 2 days that you get to come to BA and experience and get a taste of what BA has to offer, and then some assignments as well. So just before I hand over to Mr. Sparks, I'll just go through common events that we've got. So starting from next week, from Monday up until the 21st of October, book a tour. You get to come here between, say, 9 o'clock. The tours will run from 9 o'clock to just before 1 o'clock, 30 minutes. You and your parents get to go and see what it really looks like to be in BA. So you get to really see our students. You get to feel all the remarkable things that Mrs. Spark has mentioned about our curriculum as well. You get to literally walk around the school and see that. And then on Thursday, the 6th of October, we've got our Wacky Science workshop. And then the following Thursday, you're going to have our artists presenting you with some artwork and how to draw some quick art. And then our remarkable wow session with our PE team. Right, so Mr. Sparks, over to you for some final and closing speeches.
Brilliant. Thank you, Miss Shallow. And I've been trying frantically behind the scenes to answer hundreds and hundreds of questions that have been coming in. And I think I've done an okay job. I've been trying to keep up, but there's been so many great questions. And if I haven't got to your question, apologies. What we will do and what we did last year is we will copy all of these questions that you've typed in. We'll put together, Miss Shallow kindly last year put together a frequently asked questions page where we'll properly answer them for you. But I've been speed typing. If there's any typos, I apologise now. But I've seen lots of great questions about the curriculum. And a really good question was, where's PE? I didn't see it on the slide. So PE for us, sports, sits within our personal development provision, which is 4 lessons a week, of which 2 of those are your traditional sports and PEs where the students will bring their kits in. So of course there's PE. Don't think we've missed it off. It just fits within for us, our personal development curriculum. I've had a lot of questions coming through about tutor groups for us and about who the heads of year will be and questions like that. And in this school, we do something slightly different again. We always buck the trend. So we have a non-teaching member of staff who is what we call a pastoral manager, which is the same as the head of year in most schools. And what that means is that person will be constantly available and the centre point of contact for our parents and carers to get hold of at any point during the day. And by not teaching, it means they're permanently available. And we have one of those assigned to each year group. And then we have a member of the senior team as well, who's always also assigned to the year group just to provide them with that support as well. I'm just going to scroll through and see if I can spot any other great questions that I haven't answered yet. It's absolutely, I've quite a few people say it's a really large school. How do we support our students get used to that large school? And you've heard from some of our year 7s that we provide them with very practical things like maps. But really more importantly than that, we had a summer school this year that was just for our new year 7s to come in and get to know the school in a really risk-free environment where there weren't other students. We also get our year 7s to start a day earlier than all of our other students. Our year 7s start alongside our year 12s, so they've got the school to themselves. And for the first few weeks, the teachers will come down to the playgrounds at break and lunch to take the students to their classroom, just so they get really familiar with where their different classrooms are. And I'll see if I can answer one more question. I'm just scrolling up. I'm hoping some of them have been answered through the presentation as well. Lots of good evenings and hellos to me and Miss Shallow, which is absolutely wonderful. Oh, yes, a question around those period 0 and period 5 lessons. Well spotted, the eagle-eye people on there. They are not compulsory for a year 7 student, but that's the times in which the extracurricular clubs and activities take place. So the period 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the compulsory core lessons that all students do. Period 0 and period 5 at the end and start of the day is when those extracurricular clubs and activities typically take place alongside lunchtime as well. So on some days, if students take part, for example, in football club, they might leave at 4 or 4:30 on that day because they're taking part in that particular club and activity. Fingers crossed I've answered as many as I can, and I'll let Miss Shallow jump back on in a minute to see if we've got some more times. The closing messages from me are really to sum up everything that you've seen. You've heard it from me, you've heard it from Miss Shallow, and you've heard it from our students. And of course, we are incredibly proud of the school that we are all part of. And it really is a massive community of people that are big-hearted, as our values tell us. We're really proud of the incredible transformation that the Academy has seen over the last few years, but more proud of those wonderful results and outcomes that our students in year 11 and year 13 achieved last year, and a big hats off to all of them. And again, just a reminder of those really three key promises, that I make that promise that students in this school will get remarkable teaching, and they'll be taught by some of the best practitioners that I've ever worked with. They'll have a remarkable learning experience where they'll explore something new every single lesson, every single day. And we will make sure there is regular ongoing assessment, so you as parents and carers will receive regular and ongoing feedback on your child every single lesson, every single day. And it really has, over the last 3 years, become the academy of choice. I suspect in a year's time, if I'm honest, and I can be honest in this call, that this will be an academy that is oversubscribed in year 7. And my strongest bit of advice from tonight is to get back onto the website where that transition button is right at the top of the page. And on Sunday, book a tour. If you haven't booked a tour in already, make sure you book a tour in over the next month so you can see the school in action. There's no point in me telling you, you're better off just coming in to see the school, see the lessons, lessons in action, talk to the students around the school, and that will give you a really clear sense of what we're about here at Bexleyheath Academy. Miss Shell, I'm hoping you're going to join me on screen now. Tell me if we've got any final time for any more questions, or if not, I'll let you start. You've started the evening. I'll let you draw the evening to a close if we're out of time.
Thank you, Mr. Sparks. Miss Luther, can I ask that you go back to the slide with the events on, for open events? Thank you, Miss. So the reason I've asked for that to happen, Mr. Sparks, is we've just had a parent ask for clarity. Miss Luther, could you refresh for me, please? Sorry. Okay, so whilst Miss Luther is just doing that, because obviously it's very important that we know the dates of the event that we've got coming, and I do apologize for that error that was on the screen earlier. We've had a few questions, Mr. Spark, that have come in. One of them is about a nut allergy. Just so you know, we're not a nut-free school because there's so many different things that include a nut, but what we are, our students are very aware of nut allergies. So we've got this a young lady a young student in year 8 currently. She's never had an attack, and she's been with us all throughout year 7. She was in school every single day, was never off sick, so her attendance is always 100%. She's never ever had an incident in school. So as much as certain things might be out of our control, but we make sure that all our students, so for example, everybody in year 8 know that they cannot just open anything that contains nut. Our canteen is as nut free as it can be as well. But thank you for letting us know. So what would happen is your parents, once they fill your form and you've come through our transition, we have your document, we have your paperwork, we're going to know exactly who you are and what your needs are. And as you heard from Miss Collier earlier on, we put all the support that you would need in place, so you are in school and you're always safe. That was a question about the nut allergy. Mr. Sparks, do you have any questions that you saw? Because I've just gone on to the questions now. Now,
and we're back. Welcome, everyone. And I think Miss Luther, who's been behind the scenes, our vice principal, cut Miss Shell off a tiny bit prematurely there. But I just wanted to take a moment just to bring on screen, who've been sitting directly opposite me, our wonderful stars of the show. So kind of, I'm sure you'll join me at home for a virtual round of applause for our wonderful students who've kind of given you their insight into Bexleyheath Academy. And I just want to say a massive thank you, to our students that joined us this afternoon to share with you their insights into the school, but also to Miss Shallow, who's opened the evening and sort of prematurely been cut off there, but has tried to close the evening, and to Miss Collier, who's talked to you about our SEND provision. So it's a goodbye from our students here this afternoon, goodbye from Miss Shallow, goodbye from Miss Collier, and a goodbye from him. I'm hoping to see many of you on site soon for one of our school tours. Bye, everyone.